So we have learned about this, how to properly express these multiplication. Now let us learn about some other rules. If a set of experimental data is specified to up to n significant figures, that means there are n significant figures, that n can be 3, 4, 5 or whatever it be. A result obtained by combining all the data will also be valid up to n significant figure. So the result will be also valid up to n significant figures. But this is not true when we do the subtraction operation, when we subtract the quantities. So this number of significant can be reduced. Sometimes this is reduced. So let us understand with this simple example. Suppose we measure two masses. So one mass is 12.9 gram, that means 12.9 grams, and we subtract a mass of 7.06 grams. Both have three significant figures. Then the remaining calculation must have three significant figures. The remaining calculation must have three significant figures. That means the answer should be 5.84 gram. But this is not correct. Why? Because this quantity is only one place after decimal correct. So precision in this quantity is only 0.1 gram, while precision in this quantity is 0.01 gram. So since this quantity is uncertain up to this digit, that means 0.1 gram, so we will round off only one digit after the decimal. So we will not write 5.84, but we will write 5.8 gram, as the uncertainty in subtraction or addition combine in a different fashion. Smallest number of decimal places rather than the number of significant figures in any of the number added or subtracted. So what they are trying to say? So in case of addition or subtraction, we use smallest number of decimal places. So here only one decimal place, here two decimal place. So we will not use the significant numbers, we will use the rule of decimal places, because this number itself is uncertain. So we cannot have the uncertainty up to two digits. Now relative error. The relative error of a value of number is specified to significant figures depend only on n but also on the number itself. So it does not depend only on the n but also on the number itself. So let us understand with this example of relative error. Suppose we measure a mass 1.02 gram with a scale of precision 0.01 gram, whereas another mass is measured 9.89 gram with the same scale, again precision is 0.01 gram. Now let us calculate the relative error in this first number. So relative error in this number is 0.01 divided by 1.02 into 100%, that means plus minus 1%, that is the error. Now similarly the relative error in this number is 0.01, because scale is same, divided by the mass itself 9.89 into 100%, that is 0.1%. So what we have learned, that the error does not only depend on the significant figures or measuring instrument, it depends the number itself. Suppose if we increase the number, so relative error or percentage error will be much more smaller in a larger number in comparison to a smaller number. Suppose we measure a length of 10 centimeter and a 10 centimeter, let us call it 9.8 centimeter, okay, and we measure a length of 98.7 centimeter. Both are measured with meter scale with precision of 0.1 centimeter. Definitely this larger length will be more precise, and error in this length will be far less than this smaller length. However, both are measured with the same instrument. Why? Because length is much larger. So let us summarize this thing. So we should hold the intermediate results in a multi-step calculation to one more significant figures, at least one more significant figures in multi-step measurement, otherwise there will be some error associated. So every measurement, then the number digit in the least precise measurement. So they are saying with this dialogue is that we must at least hold one more digit. We must hold at least one more digit than the number of precise digit in any calculation in between the calculations. Only rounding off will be done after the measurement, and they have shown this with the help of this simple example. Suppose we take reciprocal of 9.58. Okay, so this has three significant figures. So when we take the reciprocal, ideally reciprocal should be, reciprocal means 1 upon 9.58. So when we reciprocate this number, so we should get 0.1044. Now we again use the rule that we must hold the significant digits only. So we can use this number 0.104. So if we use this 0.104 and then somebody says, then we again reciprocate this number. We have to reciprocate this number 1.04. So 1 upon 1.0, sorry, this is 0.104. So again reciprocating it will give us a number of 9.62. It is not same as this. These numbers are not equal. So we have a large number of error. So we have error of 0.04. Why this error has built up? Just because we have dropped this extra number. However, it was insignificant, but we must not drop in the middle of calculation. What would happen if we hold this number? So 1 upon 9.58 would be 0.0144. When we reciprocate this again we get the value 9.58. So this justifies the idea of retaining one more extra digit than the number of digits in least precise measurement. So what they are trying to say, suppose our least precise digit has two significant digits. So we must do all the calculation up to third digit. Only at the last we round the numbers off in two significant figures. So this is they are trying to say we must not remove the uncertain digits in the calculation itself, and it does not mean that we keep on retaining all the uncertain digits. So we must retain, suppose a number is 9.87 and we are multiplying it with some other number. So this has only three significant figures. So all the calculations, suppose this is the least precise digit with three significant figures, then we do all the calculation up to fourth digit, not beyond 4, because that will make the calculation very difficult, but we must hold at least one more digit extra for the precise calculation, and in the end we do the rounding off. Now let us come to a new concept, this concept of dimensions of physical quantity. Till now you know three dimensions. There are three dimensions. These are x, y, z dimensions. This is x, this is y, this is z. So we know about these dimensions, but however this figure is not very accurate. Let us make it much more accurate. So in physics this direction is always x direction, this direction is z direction, this is z, and y should be shown in this way. So this is positive x, this is positive y, this is positive z, this is negative z, here it is negative x, and this would be negative y. This is the correct way of showing any kind of directions when we use the three dimensions. So now we are going to learn about dimensions. So the nature of physical quantity is described by its dimensions. So why these dimensions are important, that we will see just in a minute. So all the quantities, physical quantities that can be represented by derived units or any units, they can be expressed in the terms of combination of several fundamental base quantities. So previously we learned about units. meter, kilogram, etc. We learned about these units. So instead of putting units, sometimes we put a general case, and that general case is a dimension. So what is a dimension? Let us learn about this. So we shall call these quantities 7 dimensions. These basic quantities, these units are represented by some quantities. Those quantities are called dimensions of the physical world, and these are denoted by square brackets. These dimensions are denoted by square brackets. So whenever we put a square bracket, this square bracket, so that means this is the dimension of that number. Now let us understand some of these dimension. Dimension of length is written as this square bracket and L. Dimension of mass is written as square bracket M. Time T. This current is square bracket and A in a square bracket. Temperature is K because of Kelvin. This intensity CD, and this last is amount of substance is mole. So these are 7 dimensions. So what is the significance of these 7 dimensions? So we can represent any physical quantity using these dimensions. The dimensions of a physical quantity are the powers or exponents to which the base quantities are raised to represent that quantity. Definitely this is a very difficult definition, so we will learn it by an example, but for now these dimensions are a replacement, or these dimensions work like a units. Like we have expressed any quantity in M, we can write in L. The benefit of writing this L is this is not unit dependent, this is now unit independent quantity.